Hey guys, what's up? Sora here, and I'm back with a new Shadowverse video. My road to Grandmaster continues, and it's Shadow this turn. Now, I promised over the last Haven video that since cracking this very, very nice animated Ceridwen, that I would be running Shadow next. And I did want to run Shadow. I also wanted to run Reanimate Shadow, but I found a list on YouTube that was very interesting. It actually combined the mid-shadow shell from Chronogenesis and put it with the new tools that Reanimate Shadow has. So the deck isn't consistent, but what it lacks in consistency, it makes up for versatility. Right now, Reanimate Shadow's big weakness is if you don't Burial Rite the Zeus early enough or just don't draw into the Zeus, you just lose, period. Like, you have absolutely no way to win whatsoever. But if you draw the nuts, you win, period. There's really not a lot of what people can do to you once you get Zeus down turn 7. Now, this deck's thesis aims to fix that by including the mid-shadow package. That way you have a way to win with the Aisha, with the Ector, with the Ceres even in the mid-game, even though if in case you don't draw into the Zeus. Here's the problem. I actually don't know if this deck will ever work. It's an interesting concept, and that's why I'm running it. But I feel that this card in particular, Ector, as much as I'm surprised to say it myself, is underperforming in this deck. Ector needs 8 shadows to become relevant in the late game. Also, to become relevant, you need shadows to stick on the board. And turn 7 right now, and the meta is really, really rough compared to Haven, compared to Arthur. Compared to Sword, I mean. Like, their turn 7 is extremely explosive, which makes Ector really not as much explosive. So, I find that that's the weakness of the deck right now in the few matches that I have run of it. But we'll see that later once the gameplay starts. Also, this list on YouTube originally ran Poison Apple. I find that to be extremely greedy. So I swapped in Odal instead to better control the board in the mid-game. And she has been producing results. So let's see what we can come up with this deck, and let's get started. Alright. First deck. We're going up against Runes, so it's going to be likely... I've seen Mysteria now recently. Mysteria deck is getting pretty popular, although I think that list is still pretty unoptimized. It could be that, it could just be normal Spell Boost Giant Chimera Rune, more than likely. I'm going first, so Ceres isn't as great. I'm gonna try to draw into better. I probably shouldn't have mulliganed the Zeus, but in my practice runs for this deck, particularly, if I do not have either Everdark Strix or Zeus in hand, it becomes extremely risky of bricking. So I'd rather try to draw my way into one of them rather than try to hold on them outright in the mulligan. Like I said in the start of this video, the mulliganing of this deck is extremely tricky. Probably the most tricky out of all the decks I've played so far. That's interesting. So we definitely do not want to run into that by ourselves. I could bury the Aisha just to draw, but because I don't have a turn 4 play, probably just swing and then put down the Squasher right now. I don't think I'm going to get to 4 shadows by the time this becomes relevant. If we don't draw anything, then we'll bury the Aisha on turn 4. Okay. That's actually perfect. That just easily trades into each other. Oh, okay, perfect. Perfect timing. So, Zeus down. Let's draw first. Alright. I could just do a straight trade, especially because we don't want this to live. And given that I have 2 Aishas, then I have an easy no evolve turn next turn. Probably just do that. Because now, especially now that we've buried the Zeus, we technically have a late game. We just now need the Resurrection, really. Either Ceridwen or anything like that will work. Probably... Oh, he's actually going greedy. Okay.
You're done for.
So we're saving our evo points is the point here. Using Aisha and hopefully a Zeus, we draw into something later to end the game. One turn late. Yeah, we'll just trade with Aisha here. That's fine. If he decides to flood the board, because turn 5 for Burn Rune is pretty awkward. They're not gonna play. They're definitely not gonna play Oz quite yet. So it's either going to be like a combination of small followers, which Odal perfectly counters. And especially with this hand, my goal is to control up until we draw into Ceridwen's, really. That's actually one of the main weaknesses I find with this deck, is that there's no draw. If you guys noticed from the list earlier, there's no Demon Eater. Because like the deck is thin enough as is. The only draw is really Andrelphus, which we do run a 3 of, I think, but it's usually not enough. The problem with running Demon Eater is that you really don't have a good way. You don't really have good sacrifice targets. That's the problem. That's actually bad for us. Just outside of that 3. So the question is, can we live by the time you use... Okay, perfect. Sarah's to the rescue. Our top decks have been insane in this game. I believe... I don't want to get punished by whatchamacallit, Levi. So I'm gonna leave the balance in hand. Because Levi will come down 4 and then become 3, so Odal still won't counter it. And Mist of Extinction will get rid of 4 naturally, so I'm not gonna play it. I want to keep the resources that I do have. We're playing for late game here, we're not playing for early. And if he uses the Levi, then that leaves me open to use either... probably just evolve the Belenus or something. Depends on what we draw next. Ideally, we draw into Ceridwen. But yeah, we've been Yu-Gi-Oh-ing this game so far, so... Oh, Grand Summoning. Okay, perfect. That's punished by Odal pretty nicely, actually. He has to evolve into the Ceres, I would imagine. It just depends on what he chooses to evolve to. I would say this. Yeah, it's the only thing that doesn't die. No, it actually dies if he evolves into it. So it probably will be this. One would assume. And then I just Mist of Extinction the board. Really, it doesn't make sense to play Odal against that, because we would be giving him the Odette. Yep. Oh, just in time. Let's see, I can actually play the Belenus after that too. Yeah, let's do that.
Life does what I say. Want to play? Life, out of the way.
Ever since getting that card, I found that actually to be extremely handy. The fact that she had this, whenever this follower attacks or cover 1 play point, it nicely curves out. You think it doesn't matter, and in a lot of cases it does, especially in pure Reanimate. I think it doesn't matter because you usually play on turn 6, so there's not really a lot of 1-drops that you can play that takes advantage of that. But in this particular version of Mid Reanimate, as I call it, it works rather well. This is definitely a Zeus play. I can only imagine that he does have a... It might be a Mist of Extinction play, honestly, given that he's trying to flood the board. Yeah. Given he's trying to flood the board with especially this, this might just be a Mist of Extinction. Straight up. Yeah, this is a Mist of Extinction straight up. Windmill Slam. He played Andrelphus. Yeah. Not a question there. He went greedy and got punished for it. And if he does play the Levi, then I play the Eternal Potion. Okay, that's fine by me. And then I have the Zeus to back it up. By all means, I am not going to complain about that. Again, Windmills slam the Zeus. I probably will... Let's probably draw first, I would say. I don't need the Oda at this point. Either I win next turn or I lose. Cool. I won't bother with that. Cool. Should be game. Pretty much here. Even if he mutagenic bolts again. So unless he can pull off some crazy chain lightning, we should win.
I'm through.
Yep. Yeah, that was a greedy play from him by sending all that down. That's why we tech in the Mist of Extinction. I'm actually trying to see whether that makes sense on a 3 of rather than a 2 of. Or a 1 of. Oh no, I apologize. A 2 of rather than a 1 of. But yeah, that's the power of Mist of Extinction right there. Alright. Next up, we have Portal. So this is actually rough for this version of Shadow because I don't run any sort of skeleton regenerator. Definitely not. We're reacting, so zombie party makes sense. Okay. So since like none of my stuff regenerates on after dying, so other than like reanimate, you know, so that is a problem with this deck that is normally not present in Shadow, because normal mid-range Shadow at least has Catacombs that trades extremely well to any artifact, or Rush in general, but not this version. Probably just straight zombie party here. We're gonna save the evolve for Andre Alphas. Yeah, straight. Ooh, hold up. Let me think. No, we don't need it yet. Yeah, just straight up that. Because against Portal, there's really, other than maybe Fervent Machine Soldier, as I was about to say, that's probably the only follower in Portal that I can think of where the 3 damage matters. And maybe that ward, but no one plays that raw unless it's already like generated or Acceleratium's already in play. Puppet Strings, oh, great tech. Well then. I probably now do need to evolve the Gloomy Necromancer instead. Because if I keep this up, then I will likely die. And I don't want to be greedy with the draw. My only question to myself now is whether I played them both at the same time. Yeah, we played them both at the same time. Like, giving the draw to Ector doesn't really make a whole lick of sense. So we evolve that to kill this. That play actually ended up biting us in the butt, huh? The fact that we zombie partied the Majesty Lion. So let's see if we lose because of that. But that was a small miscalculation on my part. Definitely a learning process. Okay, that's fine. He denies me the draw. Just straight trade, yeah, that's fine. What will happen is I play the Skull Ring again. More than likely. I won't evolve for that, no. Because he's only going to play the Deus next turn anyway. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to try to contest that. Although, if he plays the Deus, then I get something in. I get damage in, but I really don't see the point. And I might actually need it for Ector instead. I'm trying to think. Am I being greedy by not evolving here? Because he wants to play Deus next turn. He has Resonance. 100% he wants to play Deus. So if he wants to play Deus, he's going to trade into this. It will be 3 damage. So probably, yeah. It's worth it to do now, rather than later.
The march goes on.
If he puppet strings, then it delays him a turn. He has to play Deus here. If he plays Deus here, then I trade. He hasn't played any sort of biofabrication that will reduce the cost of any artifact. And then we at least have a turn to recover. Okay, so we delayed the Deus. That's actually great. That's actually great for us. We delayed the Deus for a turn. The longer you delay the Deus in artifact, the better. So he's just gonna clear the board, which is fine. We all know this. We know this runaround. And the more puppets that he uses, the less likely it is of Orcus, but I don't think he's even running any sort of Orcus. Okay. Odile will be good here, but I'll take that. I'll take wins when I can get them. Yeah, this is just a matter of survival at this point.
I'll show you.
Survival until turn 10.
How can you expect forgiveness? Up to
Okay.
heaven with you.
Still.
Then we have Ector for the next turn, and when this dies, unless he substitutions this, which would be the read of the century, that he prevents my
I'll be your peace.
my Ector to do any damage.
Entirety set right.
Okay.
Not set to its counter.
Okay, that's fine. Then he just draws. Cool. It's actually to our advantage. This is absolutely to our advantage. Keep that alive. Odile will be very useful. Actually, it might be useful now rather than later. I could just run into it. Because I don't use the shadow, and I have two of them, so that's probably what I'll do.
This head can't be
Give this rush into this.
Up to heaven with you.
I must rest.
Right now, the goal is just survival. Nothing else. We just need to survive until turn 10.
Entirety set right.
Hakurabi again.
Not set to its counter.
It is concerning that he hasn't used any of his Evo points, but I'm not sure why he's saving it. At this point, you want to push damage or something. There it is. And this is where Odile comes into play. If he lays down another artifact, that's where Odile comes into play. However, he doesn't, so this is where Ector comes into play. Kill the two 4/4s, or 4 damage ones. Or we can just Death Dragon Caller into Zeus, which is an option. No, because this is 10 damage by itself. So I feel like Ector is actually the better play here.
This head can't be taken.
Try to lay down the board a little bit.
I must rest.
Sorry.
Because if he has some sort of way, especially because he has the evil point, right? If he has any sort of way to deal with the Zeus, with fantastic Evo, then if he actually plays Deus here, then I play the Zeus. That's straight up.
Sleep.
Okay. Makes sense to me.
Again.
Then swing with a 2, right? Odile here actually will punish if he plays any sort of 3/1 artifact. Yep. Yeah, that 100% Odile here. 100%. I can even quash her into... Well, we'll save the quasher for later. Just Odile, straight up.
Contemptible white fowl.
The black fowl is wicked.
Take my hand.
But why?
Don't let the light blind you.
Now, I don't think I've killed 12 artifacts for Saphira to kill me in one go. Ideally, we get another So Death replay. So that's not Saphira, which is great.
You might say I'm a genius.
Alright. This is the one scenario where Poison Apple would actually be more handy, just because whatchamacallit, the what do you call that thing? Okay, we lay these two. The 8 into the 2 with Poison Apple works better. We'll just do this. And then we kill the... Do we kill the Prime Artifact or attack? That's the question. I feel we actually need to start putting on damage. 5, 7, 9, 11. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's the right move. Because otherwise we can't outlast Portal. We just can't. So either he has enough power in his hand without Acceleration in play to punch through this, and he locks his board with Acceleration, so at least he has to run something into this first before he plays the Acceleration. Does he have enough? 6. So just run the 6 damage into here is my guess. Alright. These trade. Oh wow, he's trading. Why is he trading? That doesn't make sense at all. Okay. I don't get why he would need to trade there, but alright. I'm gonna save this. I'm just gonna play this straight up. This is a good question. Do I run... Because if I run into this, I pretty much use the same amount of turns in order to deal the same amount of damage. Let me do the math real quick for you guys. So, right now he's at 13. If I attack with these two, I put him at 6, which still is outside of just one Zeus attacking into. So I'm essentially using the same amount of turns. So I'll just attack with this and trade with this.
Yo, it totally burns.
Because it doesn't look like he's running any sort of transform effect. Maybe he runs otherworldly, which is the scary part, right? So we do want to minimize the damage that we take while we drain him down in life. And if he can't deal with this Zeus, it's the same thing because I have so Death Reap Life and just attack for 10. Come on. What else does he have? I'm amazed that there's been no acceleration. Probably because he's just now playing Deus. And he doesn't even draw because he doesn't have a resonance. Yeah, he might have just drawn into this late. Like the prime time was to play Deus earlier. Okay. Yeah, that worked out rather well, actually. Not gonna lie, that just worked out rather well. Now you guys got to see like the beauty of the hybrid there, just because the Ectors really did play a part there as well as the Odile, which wouldn't normally be present in Reanimate deck, at least the Ectors. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. That is Mid Reanimate Shadow. As you can see, it does work to an extent. In the practice matches I was having earlier, trying to familiarize myself with the deck, I found myself having trouble with Haven, because Haven, Odile doesn't quite reach it, although this does, but I only currently run 1 copy. I might bump that up to 2 and take one of the Ectors out. So there's still some optimization definitely left for me to do for this deck. Otherwise, I think it's simply straight mulliganing and a little bit of luck, as with any card game. So I'm setting aside the luck, but the mulliganing part is important. If you're going to play this deck, and I'm going to start putting the deck list in the description, definitely do not get greedy is my best advice. Do not get, if you only have Gloomy Necromancer and no Zeus in your opening hand, unless you have a really good reason to, you mulligan away the Gloomy Necromancer. Like, this deck performs, I think, the best it can be when it's playing it as Mid Shadow, unless you have both pieces like Everdark Strix and Zeus, or Gloomy Necromancer and Zeus in your hand already. So, but yeah, that's it for the deck. Thank you guys for watching, and as a bonus, this month every video will not feature me buying crystals, but will feature me opening the daily packs for Dawnbreak Night Edge, and maybe we'll open that ticket right there. I am still hunting for Hind. I'm still hunting for Sun and Moon, so... Ah, Prim again. I'm getting a lot of her. Okay. And then we open up the other pack. This is from the dailies. The really good event right now. I hope they run that again soon. It's been extremely helpful, at the very least for the launch of every expansion, because it really does help complete everyone's collection. Another Devil of the Caps, and Valzi, this actually, I recommend you starring this, guys. He might be a little bit overtuned. Definitely star him, because he might get nerfed. Extra vials is always nice. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been Sora, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.